Hello there. Got
Battle
a
control,
short
initialized.
replay to show an example of a formation, standard sort of formation in combat for engagements while advancing, which shows the elements needed, the basic elements, MCVs, helicopter or yak, artillery. Obviously you need your tanks up front and your infantry, but an essential element is the MCV. That allows you to place structures and base defences right at the front line, and not only to get the use of those structures, but they actually help defend your units, they screen your units, they give you a view range in front of your units. If you're by in front of, obviously, I mean placing them between you and your enemy that you're engaged against, whose units you're engaged with, while you are set up and you get your army in a formation. Then you engage all your elements and you set up your MCV as close as possible to the enemy without it being too close that they're going to fire on it and destroy it. So keep your MCV screened, obviously, but it needs to be close enough so when you immediately deploy it, you place your barracks, you place your base defences, and you've already got your units into a formation and committed. That's how it's done. Immediately get that MCV into position. Right, bit of an attack early on, just to sort of test an eco raid, but that's not the point of this video. But I'll show I've done an all-truck in before the enemy can bring too much to bear. I've got out of there. That was just a basic small early unit group anyway. The main thing is showing the advance with all the elements needed. And got chased. And I tried to take on this formation. I should have done. I just couldn't see what was there. And with the artillery piece, you don't, as a rule, don't engage against an enemy when they've got the advantage here. That he had less units, but it was just a superior force because he was holding me from overrunning him immediately, and his artillery can just destroy my units while I'm not returning the same casualties. So he just, with that smaller force, look, because he had more elements, I didn't think I had what I needed to destroy him. I wasn't aggressive enough, and maybe I could have attacked, but under those conditions you would normally find a larger force, and it just shows you that having the elements, all the elements, is more important than having a few more units than the enemy. Having the right elements and making the units you do have work efficiently is just worth a lot. It's worth a lot of units. Having your units working efficiently, having the elements you require, it's worth so much. I'm building a few specialist units, a spare engineer, a couple of spies. I've got medics already, there's a couple of engineers, a couple of spies, moving the MCV out. Mechanics as well. I'll want mechanics because they're good units. Mechanics are great for repairing your vehicles, obviously, at the front line. You don't have to bring your vehicles back to be repaired at the repair bay. You can have a small group of mechanics and repair your vehicles at the front line. It's well worth doing, and with allies you've got more tanks coming out because they produce faster with allies, and you're repairing tanks. It starts to really build up your tank force when you're repairing your vehicles instead of losing them. It really builds up your numbers. Very quickly builds your numbers up. Right, see, I've got the MCV deployed there with my barracks immediately in front of it. Everything should be repaired immediately. Base defences go down straight away. Primary production straight away. I've got a helicopter for better view range, and my artillery. So they're the essential elements. And from there you can send out small forces. See, I've got a spy here, so you can send out small forces, reconnaissance forces, see what the defences are like on the other side of the enemy's base. I'm using these tanks to distract the enemy while I send in a spy, for example. Well done, he stopped him, but that is an example of what to do. Now I've sent my MCV round this side. There's no base defences yet. Straight down with the barracks, straight down with the base defence, get repairing, micro that barracks look, so, I mean the base defence, micro your base defence to target the infantry, starting with the rocket troops first. Those rocket troops do a lot of the damage, so as soon as you place your pillboxes down, your flame towers, there you go, you strip the infantry straight down. As soon as they're in range, target them and hold the shift key and target a few enemy infantry, because once the first rocket troop you target is dead, then you want him to move on to the next one and the next one. So shift command, shift Q, a few rocket troops as targets. And there's all the elements. Look, I've got my helicopter, even though he's blended in there. I've got my helicopter for view range. I've got my artillery, tanks and infantry. I'm capturing the enemy. I'm repairing my vehicles at the front line. Spies can infiltrate. I'm capturing here. It's just very effective when you're fighting with all the elements. So you keep your MCV, and as soon as you set it up, have barracks ready to place. Make them primary if you can, and then set your base defences down. It's like I say, very important to have all those elements. And I thought I'd use the Allies to show, because I'm always Russia. So I thought I'd use the Allies to show this particular example and show those particular elements in action. So it's just a brief video just to show that. It's like essential elements in the field, basically. Thank you very much.